Good morning, guys. Joe's Bench 506 is back live. I've been off, practically the whole summer. I've been through separation and I wasn't able to repair anything. I had to repair something else. So, uh, anyways, I'm back at it again. I want to thank everybody that is following me on YouTube. You know, they were very patient. A lot of people were asking where I was, and of course, I was absent from all this, even the replies in my YouTube channel. But uh, recuperated from all of this, I ended up keeping the house. So the shop is still in my basement, and I'm gonna start doing some repair. I am behind on a lot of stuff. This So my first project is going to be a Kenwood ka-7100. It's on my bench, and it's on the bench because it's extremely dirty, according to the owner of this amplifier. At first, he told me that it was never serviced, but then he came back and he thinks that maybe once it was serviced. I think the sound goes in and out on the selector switch, so we're going to be checking that. So I'm going to power this on, and let's see what happens. Oh, relay has clicked in. It's using OK power. It's not too bad. On idle, and I've got a frequency going through here. That's the left. Yeah, it cuts out on the left because I'm touching the selector switch from auxiliary to tuner and then to the phono. See if the phono is working. It's Oop. Okay, so we have issues with the scratchiness of these potentiometers. It's going to need a good cleaning. So I'm going to open this up. Kenwoods are fairly easy to work on. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to get right to work with this. So we'll take the top off first. The very first screw, we dropped it already. I didn't lose my touch. Okay. 8 screws off. This should be fairly enough. Should be good enough. Good. Just kind of glued there. This is what the inside of the plate looks like. No issues there. The potentiometers and the switches, there is a circuit board against it. I'm gonna bring you guys closer anyway to see what I can do with this. But the selector switch is all the way, there's a nice rod going all the way down to this part. And this is where we're going to have to clean this out a little bit. Looks good though. There's the inside of this. This is the selector switch that I'm talking about. It's way back here in the back. So we'll have to spray some of that stuff, and it's going to be a bit tricky to get to this board here, but that should be okay. Now I have the power supply, which is right around here. I have my relay right there. All these capacitors looks pretty good. They look good. Quite dirty though. And those are my outputs right down there. We're using 2SB557 and 2SD427. And they have not been changed. These are the original. And of course this would be my power amp circuitry that's right here. And then the phono section, maybe, I think the phono section is behind here, right down there. So all in all, we have a little bit to do. Check out these rods. So this one here is going to be easy to clean. Okay, so there's my transformer. I'm saying that that's quite big. So I'm pretty sure this is probably pushing above 40 watts per channel. So I'm going to unplug this. I'm going to take this outside. It's pretty dusty. And we'll do some, I'll put the compressor on this. Get her a nice cleanup before we start anything. And then we'll go from there. Alright, so we'll put you on pause. Okay, she's all dusted out, and let's give her a try. Oh, that's scratchy. Yeah, a little bit on the selector switch. Selector switch is right down there, so I can clean that out really easy. And try this again. I'm gonna have to take this board out of there, eh? So everything seems to be working, you know, great with this. Check the soldering as well, see if there's anything out of the ordinary. Everything looks pretty good. what I'm after is I'm after this board here. I want to take this plate out of there so I can actually spray. I want to see what this looks like in the back. So that's what I'm going to do. So all I want to do is open this up. See, there's a few capacitors on that board as well. And this is the switch that was giving us a hard time with the selector switch, and it's all the way down. It's all the way down here. There's a few capacitors that I will check, but this was the selector switch that was giving us a hard time, and I wanted to investigate that a little more. Here we go. I'm going to spray some stuff really good here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this one is back here that I wasn't able to see. Okay, I'm going to check some of those capacitors on that. Yeah, these are the blue ones are really good. I'm pretty confident that this is okay. Okay, so I've put this back together. I sprayed some really good contact on these two pots that are right here. The tape source and the selector switch was giving me an issue on the auxiliary to tuner. I don't believe that there's going to be an issue there at all now that I sprayed some good stuff. But now I'm going to check some of these. Right here there's a circuit board, and there's a lot of capacitors, which are the orange ones. So I need to check a little bit here, and I'll try to get you guys closer to this. And just like that. I'm wondering if I can bring this little thing close by. You guys will be able to see this, I'm thinking. There we go. Maybe I put you on like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check these capacitors, and I love this board. Check this board out. All the capacitors, look at the design on this circuit board. I know exactly where the capacitors are. They're circled with the plus and the minus. Every single one of them, so I don't really have to go back and forth. I can just look at all this circuit board, and it's all printed correctly where the capacitors are. So I'm going to be able to check all of that without even, losing a lot of time. So if you can look at the capacitor wizard, I'm going to try this capacitor here. This is an orange one. Seems to be okay. The one right on the bottom is not. It's kind of high in ESR. It's about a 10, probably more than that. This one is good. It's the one on the bottoms. This one is actually open. No, but it's a bad capacitor if you look at my meter there. So I am going to have to take this board out of there. There's also 2 orange ones down here. Check those. Those are good. Those are pretty good. Yeah. That's good. 2 there. Those are really good back there. Nice. Okay, so I have found 2 bad capacitors on this, and this would be on the tone control base, and you may lose some of the quality sound if I don't change that, so I prefer to change it, and I'm going to do just that. I'm kind of hoping that I can do this without taking this board off. Should be able to. Okay, so this is the capacitor. It's a 3.3. They're always high on ESR. So these ones, this is the 33, 3.3, I think it is. 3.3 at 25 volt. Pretty high in ESR. So this is a new capacitor, 3.3. This one is at 50 volt though, but check the ESR on this new one. And this would be kind of a normal 2 ohm resistance compared to this one. And I think that it would still work, but really it's on its way out. So if I can replace it with a new one, I'm way better off, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to clean that off a little bit. Okay, so I've changed these 2 capacitors that were on this board, and they were for the toning base and the tremble. I think it's going to make a difference. These ones were pretty much done. So anyways, I'm glad I got them out of there. So now I'd like to go into this board right down there. So I'm going to check all these capacitors that are on here. I'm not going to show you any of that work unless I found something obvious, then I'm going to come back to you guys with it. Okay, so I'll just flip this over like this. I'll show you this board. I'll show you what I mean by even on this board, it's well printed. Like I know where all the capacitors are, diodes, transistors, so it's so easy to work with this, you know. I love this. Might clean this off a little bit, it's quite dirty. Check and see if I get any bad soldering on here, and I don't see any. Right here, maybe. There's a crown on this one. Touch this. I'll touch it right now. I don't know if you guys can see the crown, but I can. So we'll do some checking for. I'm gonna bring you guys back. Good cap. Good cap. There's another cap. Yeah, they're all good caps. I'm just checking the orange ones because they're usually they're the ones that are giving us an issue sometimes, but yeah, they're good. I don't see any issue at all with this. And this is the photo stage here, which I'm going to check some of those caps. Sometimes the phono stage can be, like that's a good cap on the phono stage. There's another good cap. Here's a good cap. That's a good cap. So the phono stage is good as well. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't see any issue at all. So 2 capacitors that we've changed. I'm ready to fire this up. Just to see. And relay clicks in again, which is good. Everything is good. I'm plugged into the dim bulb, so I'm safe now to put it on a regular outlet. Power this on. Relay is clicking in. Just want to check what kind of voltage I'm getting on this. Wouldn't that be nice? Minus 47s. And this should be my B plus 47. Perfect. So that sounds like about right. So my B plus and my B plus and minus 47 is working okay. These are the filter caps that it comes out of. And those caps are good as well. I've checked them. Relay is clicking in okay. I don't have an issue with that. I've cleaned a little bit around the phono stage circuitry. Changed 2 capacitor on the tone board. They would have been the bass and the tremble. Both of them were really high in ESR, and they were the 3.3 microfarad. No good. They were high in ESR. We've changed those, so I'm hoping this is going to sound maybe bass a little. To able to check the bias on this, change these probes. And I have 2 pins here. I'm pretty sure those are it. And my millivolts is set to 16.6. Let's see the schematic. Okay, the schematic says here I was where I got my 20 millivolts. This is the bias current adjustment, and it should say I should be reading 20 millivolts per channel, and this is where my trimmer pots would be number 3 and number 4, VR3, VR4, and they're well marked on this circuit board. There's 3 and there's 4 there. So 4 is obviously for the right channel. I've got it on the right channel. I'm measuring 15.4 millivolts. Okay, so let's bring this up to 20 millivolts. 20 millivolts coming up. There we go. I'll leave it at 20.5. So, and another, well, it's going down quite rapidly, so I'll probably bring this up again. And also another trick is when you are hanging on to a screwdriver to go over this, this is live, eh? I've got power here. You don't want to drop any of this. Okay, so just make sure you're hanging on to these pretty good. 20.6. .2, 20.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6. I'm not too sure why it's going up just like that, but oh. So it went back down. I'm kind of okay with that, 20. So 20 for the right channel. Let's bring this one. Very carefully take these off and make sure that you don't touch anything else. That's why I've used these prongs, because they're nice and long, and as soon as they go in, they're insulated. So there you go. This one is showing 13. So we'll bring this one up closer to 20. Go. 20.6. That would be pretty close. I'm quite happy with this. Okay, so take this off. And I just want to see if I do have DC voltage on here. And if I did, the DC voltage would be measured by the blue trimmer pods right closer to this. You'll see two blue dots there. Those are trimmer pods. And I would be able to bring this to 0 if I did have any voltage on the speaker terminal. Don't suspect that I do. I'm at 13.5. I can actually adjust that to, so this is the right channel, so I'll use this one. Going up. Bring this down to 0 if I can. It's responding well. So closer to 0 millivolts would be great for this, and this is for DC voltage on your speaker terminal. I'm not going to get any better than this. Look at that, eh? 4.5 mil. This is millivolts, DC voltage. All right, so let's try the other channel. Okay, so the other channel, let's go see down there. And we're showing below 10 millivolts, so that is perfect as well. I'm not even going to bother touching it. It's perfect. Okay, so DC voltage is set, bias is set to 20 millivolts. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to check the bias again, just to make sure that I've got it bang on. It's gone up to 30. This one is set to 22. I'll bring this one down. There. Perfect. I'm okay with that. Let's recheck this. No DC voltage. No DC voltage. Okay, perfect. All right. That's it for the bias and the DC voltage. Everything has been clean here. I am quite happy with this. We're going to do a sound test now. There, we have it hooked up. Okay, so I'm going to get you closer to this. I do have a frequency of 1000 hertz going here, and this is halfway right now. This is at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, this has given me 3.54 RMS. Peak to peak would be 9.5. I've got a frequency, you can see my frequency here of 1000. Right there, you see it? So I'm going to crank this up and see how far I can make it. And I do have an 8 ohm load on this. So let's crank this up and see. Right up to the end, and I do have distortion. I'm pushing 26. I'm going to kick this back a little bit so I don't see these lines up there where they're squared off. That means I have distortion. So I'm going to kick this back to about a 21.5 at 1,000 frequency. You can see my frequency there. Okay, so 21.5 would be, the watts per channel with no distortion. This amplifier is rated at 60 watts per channel. I'm awful close, maybe a little higher. I'm not sure. We'd have to add that up. So again, I'm going to do that again. This is pushing 25, 26 RMS, but I do have distortion, so I do have to kick this back. And kicking this back gives me 21.5. So 21.5, we'll add that up for you guys. This is rated at 60 watts per channel. Other than that, everything is working great on this. Okay, so that's great. And this thing is serviced, is pretty good now. Remember when I had some distortion? I'll unmute this. There it is. And this is where I had a lot of crackiness around the input selector switch. I've cleaned it really good, and I've changed these two capacitors that really needed to be changed. And we've set the bias to 20 millivolts. It was around at a 16. The right channel was at 12 millivolts. Both of them now are at 20. This thing should be running perfectly. Everything is cleaned off. I've cleaned it all out, and it looks nice and clean now inside, which is pretty good. So all in all, this is a serviced. There's the ka-7100. I'm going to put the top back on, and we're going to ship this back to the customer. And if you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And we are going to see you in the next video.